Hello there everyone. We will be making a set of different vampiric abilities. These abilities are pretty simple and not at all hard to make. The way that I have mine set up is you hold this item to charge it up, and when it's full charge, upon crouching it shoots out a projectile. What the projectile will do when hitting is randomized. One of the random attacks is delayed or restored true damage, while giving darkness and other debuffs. The bleed arrows are not necessarily part of the attack, but a separate passive ability. Another classic thing is Telekinesis. Be able to move things around and fling them. Also gives darkness to be more disorienting. This is the victim's perspective of the panic grip. It's not all too bad to get hit by, but does have a lingering custom status called Shattered Bones. That gives weakness and occasional stuns. I may change this status in the future. By the way, that projectile always gives bleed, I just have the arrows off. This is my take on Hypnosis, making entities become hostile to anything nearby and ignore you. Other parts of the kit, like the familiars, should not aggro onto these guys, and these guys should not attack your familiars. Here I'm getting hit by Hypnosis, and there is nothing to aggro on. Well, I guess I have something in the sky. The last one is Inducing Hallucinations. They should not be killable, familiars and Hypno shouldn't aggro, most abilities can't interact. We're done with the showcase, let's get onto the item and structure. This is how I have the fermented spider eye named. Throw it in the middle of a structure block. Be sure it actually is in the middle of the structure block. We're going to name the item. Be sure to have remove blocks on. I'm going to test it out. Okay, we'll be getting into the item return commands. With a delay of 3 seconds, if you don't have the structure, it will be given to you. Well, if you don't have the item, it will be given to you. For the next command, we'll be reducing the amount you could hold. I have a delay of 1 since sometimes I feel like it just kills all of the items. Me nabbing these 3 will just result in me having only 1. Okay, let's get into the actual abilities. These are all the commands that I will be using. It's not too much, and most of them are pretty simple. We're going to be starting with a player to ability randomizer. Alucard gets a randomized number between 1 and 20. If the panic grip attack does not have a VAR score, and if Alucard has a random number between 1 and 4, set the attack to variant 1. All of these have a similar concept, unless attack has a variation already, depending on player random score, set the VAR. This section is for making the gauge display on the action bar. While holding item and less than 10 casts, the gauge will look empty. When having 10 or more, it will fill from the right side. The rest being pretty much the same, more casts, the more filled. The chain command blocks do matter here so that the previous commands don't show over the more filled display. Add a delay of 2, gain cast by holding the item unless you already have 50 or more. Unless Alucard's cast score is 0 to 50, it will be set to 0. When cast is ready to fire at 50, summon a boat way above when crouching. Right after summoning the boat, tag it Panic Grip. Be sure to have chain commands in order. After those 2, you're still crouching and need to reset cast score. This is the attack without the additional random properties. Lock it with a tag. We're going to give it a lifespan. After 3 seconds it dies. Speed it moves at. Here it gives the custom bleed status. You can change or do whatever you want with this kind of thing. I will have a video on my bleed status. This one is another custom status, but unlike bleed, it's not finalized and will most likely be changed. It will still be like a debuff status type. Have this as conditional, so it will only play when hitting. The idea of the first attack is freezing fear-based, being in a tense state of anxiety paralysis. This also gives Shattered Bones. When I update the status, it will work better as its own attack. For now, it does not stack with the first application. It also gives blindness with the particles visible, and pretty decent slowness. The second variation applies a custom status. It also gives some darkness. Force hypnotized victims to chase other targets, but not go through walls. They will attack other targets as themselves. This command just removes the tag, and it does have a delay. It's not very fancy. Some particles to somewhat match how the familiar particles are. Another fear-based attack that stores true damage. A bit of darkness. Give a tag, I guess it's a custom status. Make it run damage, or even a crit. I don't think I have one in this kit. And give it maybe a slightly more higher delay. Right after the attack, we're removing the tag. We're getting into the Telekinesis one. Like the one before, we're going to be adding a tag as a custom status. I'll also be giving them the levitation effect for 3 seconds. Very basic force teleport. With a delay of 4 seconds, we'll be removing the tag. The Hallucination has the most commands, but like I said earlier, none of them are very hard. Give a tag like custom status. I don't know why I keep putting darkness individually. Alright, while having the hallucination tag spawn in a wither skeleton to the side, second delay, the rest being chain blocks, and being pretty much the same but with the creaking, and just the other sides of it. Wither skeleton, creaking. And at the very end, we're just removing the tag. The rest of these commands are pretty much just for the hallucination mobs. Just like the other familiars, these are also just tagged as familiar. So those guys from the other part of the kit won't attack these. Try to keep it from taking damage. And a lifespan. They give pretty low damage. And they chase after the closest entities. Alright, we're done with the commands. Not many attacks in the OPK project use a randomizer for the attacks. Alucard has tons of control and selection over most of his kit. Although that's great, I don't want him to be cycling through each part of it. Found this to be a cool way to cram in a few notable vampire abilities within a project that limits attack design. That's about it. See ya.